Welcome to the basics of bike repairing.
Bikes are actually more unique than you think. Well, yes, it may just be metal bars that are on wheels, but there's actually unique characteristics like the derailleur that works with it. You can see all the gears moving, and when you use the shifters, that all turns and that. It's pretty cool. But there are stuff that can go wrong. So this video is going to explain the basics to fixing your bike. So let's go. So we're gonna start at the back here with the derailleur. So this is the derailleur is the thing that basically is the gear shifter. So if I show you, see that moving? That's when you turn the shifter, that moves. So it may go out of whack at some point, so you've got this little turning thing here where you can turn. So I'm going to turn it out of whack to show you first. See, look, it goes to gear 5 there, but if we tighten it, it should go to gear 6. And there you go. That's actually on 5, so I need to adjust it. Make sure the gear goes to 5. And there you go, see? It goes to the 5th gear. Now it's shifted to 6. It goes to the 6th. That's a 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And also there are some bikes that there's actually parts that you can turn on the shifter as well. Not all bikes have these, but some do. I did replace these shifters. But yeah, there's the derailleur, a key feature to the bike, because if, like, for example, this is like the tension screw here. If that comes off or bends, the whole chain will lose tension and it'll be really hard to ride your bike. So if that bends, you could either try and bend it back or better just replace the derailleur. So yeah, and make sure this wire here is tight as you can be, tight as you can do. Just make sure that's tight. So we're going to move to this here. So this is the brake system. So when you squeeze the left handle, that squeezes together. There are some model of bikes where it's brake discs. I'll pop a photo of that on the screen. Yeah, so some are discs, but these are pads. So if you're servicing a bike with pads, these are brake pads here. If these wear down too much, you can buy them for like a pack. I think it's like £9 or something. Yeah, £9 for a pack of 2. And these screws here are to tension the caliper movements. So both of them move at like the same distance, because if one's just stops like that, it'll rub against the wheel, and you don't want that happening. So make sure they're all good and make sure the wheel spins nice and freely. You can pedal nice and freely as well. And then give it a test. Brakes just fine. Now, not all bikes have this either, but this here is the front derailleur. So this is when you turn the left shifter where the left brake lever is, and it changes the gears that are on here. So if I pedal it, there you go, that's on 2. And that's on 1. As you can see, I'm pedaling faster because that's the weakest one, and then we'll go for the strongest one. Pedals a lot slower, but your bike goes faster. So there isn't a lot compared to the back one. There isn't like the tension screws, but there are these screws here which help it like clear it so it doesn't go too far that way or too far this way. And just same principle, make sure the wire that's there is as tight as you can get it. So that's how I've done it in there. And then it screws onto here. Make sure the screws on both of these are as tight as possible so it doesn't, you know, let go and slip, because that is really, really annoying. Now I'm going to talk about how to sort your wheels out. So you've got the tyre that's on the outside, and then also there's the wheel, obviously, but then inside the tyre, just kind of like a car, is an inner tube. So I'm going to show you how you get to that. So if you get a socket here, or like a spanner, if it's a socket it has to be 15mm wide. You go on the nut here and unscrew. These do have to be tight, so I usually like to hammer like that. And you should just be able to unscrew it like that. Not all the way, but loose enough that the wheel will be able to come off. Spin that round. Let's get the other one. So that's nice and loose. And then let's make sure the brake things here, you undo it like that. Give it a gentle little wiggle, and your wheel is off. So let's get into it. So we are now going to start disassembling the wheels. So please do make sure before you start that you have deflated the wheel completely. So it's just the little screw that's here, you unscrew that and then just poke something in there to let out all the air. And then once you've done that, you just pull up. Some tyres are a little bit stiffer, you just pull up like that. Go all around, and then that little screw thing comes out of the hole, and there's your raw wheel. Set that aside, and then inside here is the inner tube itself. Get this out. And there you go. That is the inner tube of a bike tyre. So if you get like a puncture, just take the old one out, put a new one in. So yeah, I think they're like £4 or something at Halfords. But yeah, just make sure you put it on like a smooth flat surface, because if it's a floor kind of like this or like a lot rougher, you'll probably puncture it. So just be careful with that. Now we're going to put the wheel back together. So let's first put the inner tube back into the tyre. Just push it in like that. There is still a little bit of air in there. You don't have to deflate the inner tube completely to get the tyre off, but enough so you can. So let's get that back in. So I'm just like fiddling with it there, pushing it in, create an opening, and soon enough, the inner tube will be fully back into the tyre. And there we go, with the little thing visible. So we'll get the actual wheel rim now. Find the hole, line up the hole with the valve there, pull the valve through, and then push up like this so it's level, and then just go around the whole wheel. And there you go, tyres back on. So let's get this back on the bike. Okay, so once you've arrived back at the bike, just make sure on the wheel that you grab onto these hook ends. So when you put the wheel back on, the hooks go into the little holes. be like that. And then loosely screw the nuts on with your hands just to hold the wheel on there. And then grab this socket or spanner thing, turn it into tightening. Just go around, make sure it's tight, pretty good. You need to make sure it's quite tight. And let's do the other side. And that is good. So let's pump it up now. So if you happen to have one of them pumps with like PSI and bar readings, the tyre is minimum 40 PSI, maximum 65 it's mostly on these 26-inch wheels. So let's get pumping. My pump doesn't have one of those, so I'm just feeling when it feels good. Okay, and that feels good. So, clip. And that's the wheel pumped up. Make sure you put on the little dust cap thing so dust doesn't get in there. And then the brakes, make sure you do them back up. And that is the basics to upkeeping your bicycle. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on this, and I'll see you guys later. I